Hey everybody, it's Chance here with yet another episode of Pathologic Classic HD. We are back after about a month of touching some other games. Um, I'm glad I took the break because and played Anthology of the Killer because I think that game is really cool. So if you haven't watched that, I recommend watching it. It's much shorter. I was trying to keep to like an hour-long episode format. I think I'm gonna get back to the around 1.5 hour videos for the Pathologic LP, only because this is I think like episode 38. Um, and I know I'm like splitting them into routes, but at the same time, it is episode 38. Um, and like Bachelor was like 20 episodes, so like, and that's like over 20 hours. So it's a lot of videos. It's a lot of videos. Um, I also think the game, because of how it has it split up in days, I think that kind of helps pacing a little bit. Um, it's a game that feels like you're supposed to try to get through one day, and then you can take a break because that's like a low moment. But like, because it's like you're not running around doing quests, even though you can kind of start running around doing quests later. The later you go on, you get in the game. In the beginning of the game, not so much, but toward the end, they're just like, yeah, you can do things whenever you want, kinda. But that being said, we are back to play the Changeling route. This is a route I've been excited to play since I essentially started the game. I think I'm excited to see what this route entails because you cannot play it without playing either playing Bachelor or Haruspex route first. So like you have to fully know the conceit of the game at that point, and like the frame narrative. And then we know Clara is aware, but she's also having a rough time of it. So I'm excited to see what this route entails, especially considering that we know that Clara both the saves both the tower and the town at the sacrifice of her bound. So I'm really interested in what that story looks like. It's very exciting. So with that, let's just get into it because I can talk here about forever about how exciting it is and then not play anything. So let's go. I pressed load game by accident. We don't need to load the game.
So, it's all about trickery to you? Wherever have you come from?
No. I detest trickery. But if we ourselves are to suffer deception, our hands are no longer tied. Where are we?
Well, the muscular contraction is there. Means we're already inside of him. This must be one of the ventricles, right here.
What a silly place. It's stuffed. So it's not real for now? I don't think it has started yet.
Does it matter what it's made of? It's definitely struggling. We need to perform sectio transversalis. Cut the wall. There's no other way out. What else is there to do?
I know what to do. Those who favor hard logic and direct action are bound to be misguided. Only a miracle can set us free without us having to destroy something. And I can do miracles. Just let me.
Will you please be quiet? You're a liar and a thief. Who is going to believe you when you keep lying to yourself? The truth is my shepherd. Whatever happens, I will find answers, and justice will be restored. I will perform the operation. Medica morbo adhibe.
Don't you go all bossy on me, clever clogs. You will act justly, but your justice will blind you and become his demise. This calls for the gentle hand of a surgeon. Step aside, both of you.
Your gentle hands are used to killing, not giving life. You will inevitably do harm. As for Brainy, he has no regard for casualties at all. Neither of you knows compassion.
Yes, it seems unlikely that we'll get along well, but there's only one truth.
Any choice is right as long as it's willed. That's the truth of the matter.
Only the heart will show you the right choice. Stop thinking about yourselves. Think of the sick. He's in pain. I can't see it yet, but I can feel it.
It's not even a trap. It's a grave. Subipsum funis sumus. Can't say I hold a soft spot for it.
I can see that. You're full of hate. Stuffed or not, it's breathing. I can hear it. It can be healed rather than killed.
You mean you won't become a killer? But you will. Mark my word, that's exactly what will happen. But I can avoid it.
No, we won't ever get along. I suggest we be on our way. The sooner the better.
Off we go then?
Let's go. The clock is ticking.
It's so good every time. It's like I know I've watched it. I I think about this game a lot. Um, I think like at the beginning of the Bachelor route, I mentioned that like I had tried starting this game a number of times. Um, and I will always watch this opening scene without fail. Um, um, I love it. It's so good. Um, it's like I could talk about it forever. You could only talk about this. You could totally you could write an essay only on this scene. I think. I think you could. Of which it becomes even more eye-opening at every time you finish a route. And the fact that they like acknowledge that they've met each other once before, right? Like we our characters have been on stage before. We had this opening even though we haven't met before. Um it's rocks. It's so good. Pathologic Classic HD. Everybody. It's brilliant. It's a brilliant video game. And we haven't even gotten to the route yet. This is where I stand. This is where I'm at. I've missed this game so much. Check. Check. Changeling. Clara had a dream. A foggy morning, having passed a wicket gate, she is now dawdling somewhere. Piles of dry leaves rustling in her wake. A familiar voice calls out to her. She lifts her eyes and sees her own twin sister point at an old man convulsing and weeping in unbearable agony. Clara darts for the man to save him with her healing touch, but so does her sister. The girls exchange confused glances. This is the story of a thief girl who has chosen her own past, ceased to be the instrument of blind fate, and refashioned herself into a free miracle worker.
Clara wakes up. Could the dream have been prophetic? She has prophetic dreams often. She's no longer surprised by them. She knows that they are sent by the powers that want to warn the herald of what the future holds for her. There were a lot of clues hinting at the veracity of the message. She does indeed know how to treat those in pain with her miraculous hands. She is indeed willing to ease their suffering. She truly strives to do the right thing. She loves her fellow beings. The girl is eager to do good deeds, even if that requires her to go through pain and hardships. Changeling wakes up at the edge of a pit in the ground. Sleep hasn't brought her comfort. Her back and legs ache as though she has walked many miles. Her hands are covered in mud. There are traces of dried blood on her bare knees. It's dark. The dawn is a few hours away.
Why would they call me a thief, pray tell? What did I steal? Why does the law detest me so? The only thing I remember is that I am an outlaw and will forever be persecuted. Was I really that good a thief, I wonder? I have nothing of value, just myself and these rags I am wearing. My crime is horrendous, still, I am beyond redemption. Back in the day, every heart was open before me. Now, whatever door I approach is slammed in my face. This is terrifying. Where should I run? With whom shall I seek shelter? Shall I find what I stole and give it back? Who will agree to take it off my hands? Who will answer my questions, if not for you? Day 1, in which the Changeling finally finds her sister, thus confirming the prophecy of the twin angels. Wow. Wow. Okay. We're just kind of starting off with a banger. We're started off with, like, a banger. Alright. Alright, here's our beautiful map. Oh, what do we have here? Hooks. Hooks. Like, I'm curious because she is a girl, but also she is a creature of the Shebnak, a deer, I think. Like, I think she is it. Interesting. I'm very excited, is all I'm going to say. Alright, let's go talk to our best friends over there. Attribution this time. Executor, as usual. How small you are. How frail. Will you survive in this horrible world? You're talking as if I were a newborn baby. Aren't you? You have been taught to eat, drink, sleep, move around, heal yourself, even to breathe. This place drains your health all too fast. Even a seasoned person must stay alert. Not everyone manages to cope. Teach me kindly, Mask. How can I stay in good health? We're dying every minute of our lives. Thousands of cells dissolve, melt, and burst like bubbles in a froth. You must replenish your strength several times a day. If you allow yourself to be overcome with exhaustion or your hunger becomes unbearable, you will be dying even faster than usual. And usual is fast enough as is. It's the air in this place. I'm so tired. It's as if I've been sleepwalking all night. You can buy food at a shop. If money is a problem, various comestibles can be picked up at residential houses, but those are closed except during an emergency. And should you break into one using a lockpick, be nimble. The inhabitants will defend their property. So what am I to do? You can take anything you want at the mansions of those destined for the leading roles in this unfolding drama, such as the custom of hospitality with the local aristocracy. I know how to pronounce this word. Aristocracy. Aristocracy. Whatever. And those who try to imitate them. What sort of people are they? You will soon learn to spot them among the populace. Their houses stand out. By the way, this is also where you can find a bed to get some replenishing sleep in. Provided, of course, that you don't give the owners a reason to shut the door on you. Where can I buy useful things around here? You can spot a shop by its sign. They are for selling useless items as well as buying useful ones. and some of the people in the street will gladly barter things they wouldn't sell you for money. There is illicit trade going on in a couple secret spots, but a lady so young would be wise not to set foot in those dens, or for that matter, talk about them. So there are things no one would sell me, right? Should your reputation, on which the importance of which my surly colleague has been meaning to speak to you, sink so low to lose you the trust of the even most desperately reckless, which describes all merchants, you won't be able to buy even the most harmless of articles. But reputation can be restored. What else can you teach me? Essentially, this is it for now. Don't forget to stop by the caretaker's lodge. Awaiting you there is Katerina, who will be a better mentor and support than myself in these difficult first days. You're lucky to have her on your side, being as she is a mistress, as well as a wife to our ruler, the fearsome Alexander. Very lucky indeed. I think it's interesting how, because it gives you the options. I maybe I should have, but I didn't want to like cut off the dialogue. I guess you always have the choice to be like, I don't need to do anything. Like I know, and technically me, the player, I know. You have to know at this point. You've finished the whole round. Oi, you're one swift appearer. A child, a sweet child. Such thin, see-through palms you've got. Magnificent little hands, so extraordinary, and already blackened and reddened all over. How very evocative. How did I end up here? You crawled out of a grave, sweet child. Or maybe clawed your way out of the bowels of the earth with your fingernails. Couldn't tell from over here. The mass diminishes my field of view quite a bit. Why are you standing around here with these horrible masks on your faces? Has something happened? Before they enter the town and embark on your cleansing agenda, I'd like to give you a few pieces of advice. Wow, you are, after all, a mere hatchling. I rather doubt you arrived at the cemetery with your MO already laid out. If you pardon the pun. Please do tell me. Time won't wait for you. Hour after hour, day after day. It will run out fast. You are not the center of the universe. Not even now that not even now that you have this truly exceptional part to play. At some point, you may even feel that you could easily be everywhere at once. But make no mistake, the town is changing with time, and there's nothing you can do about it. Why do you need to rub it in? Time has the final say in the matter of life and death. It may so happen that you will knock on the door of a person you need when that person has already passed being able to answer you. The news changes too. What was on a person's mind a day ago will peter out tomorrow, and it may have been something you to find useful. Pray, why speak of such terrible things? It's not like I have any say in the matters It's not like I have a say in matters of anyone's life and death, time or no time. Haven't had a laugh like that in quite a while. If you don't have a say, who does? Who but you, my blessed child, is holding her hands in the lives of deaths of others? But be careful with your terrible gift. Every death will count against you. No amount of trickery is too much. No price is too high for maintaining a viable reputation. Reputation? Yes, you will have a reputation too, my dear child. And I don't think that you will find that a sullen horse is easy to tame. It will be full of surprises. Your reputation will be falling, always, relentlessly. And it's decisive, everything. How many friends you've got, how many enemies. Trust opens the right doors and the right lips. Why will it always be falling? I'm a good person. But people are convinced to the contrary. You will exist in several guises here. The guise that will live in the collective mind, and one may speculate the collective memory is the most terrifying one. Every day, people will witness signs of your otherworldly nature. They will be frightened. No, I will be remembered for my mercy and always be spoken of in praise. You'll see. People will always appreciate your help, and I can assure you a lot of people are going to need help these days. Relieving sufferers from their misery is appreciated a great deal. Sometimes a person is in such pain that even euthanasia will be a blessing, especially for the incurable. Do I have a good reputation right now? Right now? Search me. But that's easy to find out. In fact, it's generally a good idea to not neglect checking up on your status. Has my kind-hearted colleague spoken to you about it yet? He has. Most importantly, don't forget to stop by the caretaker's lodge. You've got people waiting for you there, and they have no doubts about your identity. As it happens, they've just drawn proof of your arrival from a pile of oracle bones. Your turning up in person will duly impress them. Tarry not. I'll remember to do that, kindly teacher. Thank you. Me? I'm not much of a teacher. More like your faithful servant. I'm here because of you, you know. It is you who are the kindly teacher. As you wish. Yeah, the question is if do I want to lean into... I'm going to try to do like a mix of, depending on what feels right, of like the deep, like, because there's clearly like Clara being a child and then Clara being a miracle worker at play. And I don't know, I'll see what feels right. I think at the beginning, I think I'll be nice to them. They're my friends. They're my friends and they're here to help me. Let's make it my first save. Let's remember how to quick save. There we go. Quick load. Yes. Sorry, it has been a little while since I've played this game, so... um... So, and, video games are difficult. Hi!
I'll let the good scholar examine the deadly powders. We'll put him to the test.
Where did you come from, girl? Tell me your name. Let's see. Let me see. I'm Clara. That's who I am. I saw the lights and thought I may be welcome here. I'm cold. Yes, that's right. I have been waiting for you, Clara. We have many things to talk about. Ask me and I will answer. No, not here. Listen, you need to go to my house. Report to my husband, the ruler Alexander. He will take care of you, and I will be there later, when Grace and I are finished with our business. If I am guessing who you are correctly, then we are all saved. Are you in danger? Yes, the bones say we are in danger, the likes of which we have never seen on this earth. Go to our house, Clara. If you are who we have been waiting for, you will have no trouble getting there, and no one will threaten you on your way. I'll do as you say. Here lives Alexander Saburov, the ruler of this town. I must hasten to meet him and explain my arrival here. The Harbinger. This woman has the power over the town, and so does her husband. With their permission, I will stay here for the time being. He will try and test me, and after I have convinced him of how important my mission is, he will be the one to protect me with the power he has in abundance.
I think they've fallen out of love with me.
Surely you're not going to hurt a poor caretaker's daughter, are you? I may be useful to you yet. If I die, who's going to look after the graves? So you're the cemetery's caretaker. Don't worry. I won't do you any harm.
This supple-handed runaway had no mercy for a wounded man. He can't be a true warden.
See? My lady has come to find out what the dead are saying about our fate. And what are they saying? They're saying that they're already vacated 7 of the 9 corners of their house for the deaths that are due. All the house inhabitants are now crammed into the remaining 2 corners. Can you imagine the harvest that death is about to reap? Oh, scary. I can picture vividly this house with the dead crowded in those corners, expecting the many guests. And my lady doesn't want to believe it. She says that the future can be changed. This is her pity talking. Where did you come from? I thought you were going to stay at grandfather's. He only went there yesterday evening after all. What are you talking about? Well, there was a girl, the spitting image of you. She came here just before you did. It wasn't dark yet. And then she went to grandfather. Have you seen her with your own eyes? Just as I am seeing you now. It must have been my sister.
I need morphine.
So what are you waiting for? You need a warm place, a meal and a bath. Look, you are covered in earth, and something red. Is that clay? And what about you? Go, I will follow. Perhaps I will be at the rod even before you get there. Yes, Lady Katerina.
This supple-handed runaway had no mercy for a wounded man. He can't be a true warden.
You're back. What did grandfather say? I haven't seen anyone's grandfather. There must be some misunderstanding. Alright. Let's see what's our status is like. Okay, not the worst. So we should just kind of focus and getting there. Think while we can visit everybody right away, I think at least in this first day it is more interesting to be more handrailed and like guided. Um I'm curious to see which one is us and which one is her, you know? I'm scared. My reputation isn't good. It's not Garbo, but it's not good, that's for sure. What do I have in my pocket? I have 2 lockpicks. I have 1 cent. We better start now before it gets dangerous. I know what I will need. Hello.
They say hitting hard is a good enough start.
You are standing before Alexander Saburov, one of the rulers of this town. You must be Clara, I suppose? Yes, that's right. Have I done something to make you angry? My wife Katerina said that you had been seen at the cemetery. The late caretaker's daughter claims that you have crawled out of a fresh grave, the appearance of which could not have been accounted for. Is this true? Yes, I awoke in an earthen pit. It didn't look like a grave, just a pit in the middle of the cemetery. But that's not a crime, is it?
That's okay, I'll make it. I'm made of wood.
Do you know that it's very dangerous for you to even go out on the street? Are you aware that the powerful Kind family has put a bounty on your head? An envoy of theirs just left, and I promised them I'd catch the criminal by all means possible. The criminal? The head of one of the ruling families died last night. His murderer is said to be a woman similar to you in appearance. The description largely matches. The common folk, blinded by local superstition, is blaming a mystical creature spawned out of the earth by under mysterious circumstances at night. Is there anything you have to say to that, Clara? It wasn't me. Look into my eyes. Do you believe me? I don't know why, but for some reason I trust you. I get this strange feeling as though I have known you for some time, and that makes me suspicious. Oh, I've known you for a long time, and that makes me suspicious, Clara. Pointing as it does point to the fact that you will control an otherworldly power of some kind. I can't help myself. What is the force of truth? The truth speaking for itself? Why, then, are you being called a thief? I do believe larcenous skills are the exclusive domain of the wicked. Who is calling me a thief? That is something you'll have to ask my wife. She, too, possesses mysterious powers. Specifically, she has prophetic dreams. It has been proven over the many years that dreams do come true, and they have been her main source of knowledge about you. It's actually the other way around. My hands have the gift of healing. I can cure the most terrible diseases with my hands. I've cured cancer. I've even brought someone back from the dead once. Everyone said I'd made a miracle happen. Indeed, you are a miracle worker. That makes you almost a saint. Yes, a status like that precludes accusations of murder and theft. But then explain to me the meaning of those coincidences. If not for my blind faith in my wife's words, I would have no doubt that you were an evil spirit, a spawn of the netherworld. And if you don't explain that mystery at once, I swear even Katarina's influence will not save you. Wait, I'll tell you. I have a twin sister. She looks exactly like me, is named the same, and wears the same clothes. I fear that she was the one who committed all those horrible crimes. All right. Have it your way. I accept this explanation, and I believe you. Thank you for believing me, and this is interesting. I've just had to tell a lie for the first time in my life. To invent a fictional sister and shift all those outrageous accusations to her. Strange I could even utter the words. But I promise when it all clears up, I'll explain myself and undo that lie. So what are you capable of, Clara? Tell me more of your miraculous abilities. I can cure various diseases using my hands. I know that already. Anything else? I can induce an hypnotic state in people, provided they have consent, of course. Then they will answer any question truthfully. Enough. I need time to make up my mind. Now go outside, walk around the house, and you will get to my wife's side. Afterwards, come back to me. If your conversation yields no unpleasant surprises, I shall decide on your future from then on. All right. I'll do as you say. One can only go to Katerina, the ruler's wife, through a different entrance. Why is that? Their love for each other is evident. Katerina saw me in a dream. That is why she believed in me from the moment we met. The prophecy of angelic twins was revealed to her. But I am not an angel, only a messenger. I will have to explain this to her. Oh, do I have any letters? No, not yet. I wouldn't think so, but what if I did, you know? Getting caught on the geometry. I forgot how bad this game feels to play sometimes. Like, I think it's interesting, but sometimes I do think the game plays bad.
I'll let the good scholar examine the deadly powders. We'll put him to the test.
The vision is becoming real. This doubtlessly is one of those two. Yet which one? I must be on my guard. May I come in? I'm cold.
It is as if my temples were pierced with needles. Do something.
Come closer, Clara. Do you know that I, Katerina Sabarova, am a clairvoyant? I can commune with the mysterious forces that permeate this land. Magic has no power over me. I can see into the future. Tell me, do you question my abilities? I have such abilities too. I am not the one to doubt the existence of supernatural powers. Divisions. They're not all the same. Some of them are clear, some are hazy, but a recent one was straightforward and vivid. A vision of such power that even a materialist would not question its divine providence. I've had a dream of the chaos to come, of the doom of all our creations, of the earth swallowing our town. I know. If it's true, it's horrible. There was a prophecy of twin angels. It spoke of a harbinger of death, the imminent disaster incarnate, who is to come to the town, along with a holy healer who can perform miracles with her hands and deliver us from evil. Now I understand who is standing before me. Tell me, are you yourself aware of your calling? I thought I was merely as... I am. I said so at once. Yes, that is correct. All that remains is to interpret that dream. The dream is always an allegory. Before I saw you, I heard you speak, and had been thinking of another pair of twins, Simon and Gregory Kine, Andre and Peter Stomaton. Even those, the Haruspex and the Bachelor, had seemed to be harbingers for my dream. But now I know where the truth lies. So you believe me? I am fully convinced that the prophecy was referring to you. But others will need better proof than that. Do as my husband said, and prove you are who I think you are, and we will stand by you, the ruling couple and the holy harbinger. What does that mean? It means that if you stand before our people in all your glory, fulfill your destiny, and don't abandon us afterwards, we will adopt you as our daughter. When I die, I will pass on to you the power of the Spirit, and your heart's chosen one will inherit the power of the sword from my husband. You are too kind to me. Now, go to Alexander. Be brave, no matter what he asks you. You have nothing to be afraid of, for I see that you are the true harbinger. Such things can never be changed nor hidden from me. Time has proven that I do not make mistakes. Fear nothing, and return triumphant. Alright, I'm going. Let Alexander test me if he will. My path was mapped by the higher powers, and I won't stray from it, no matter how steep and thorny the way. It is really funny how you're just going, like, back and forth between husband and wife who live in different sections of the house that aren't connected. I love how weird the architecture is because of how the game is made.
Your coming is a sign. You are a link in a whole chain of mysterious coincidences.
Indeed, you do look more like a messenger from above than the spawn of the earth. Katerina has told me her dreams. It all fits. She believes I am a messenger from above. Alright, my wife is clairvoyant, but I am not. I need something to make sure that you are exactly who you claim to be. I am going to give you a few tasks. Let your actions prove that your hands have power over people's lives, and your words over their minds. I'm ready. I have nothing to worry about. I have received reports of a fight at the station this morning. Several men were killed, several more maimed. I have dispatched 2 loyal men there. They will tell you where the dead and wounded have been carried off. See if anything can be done. But it could be dangerous. If you are truly the prophesied messenger from above, you have nothing to fear. Nothing will harm you. The murderers had fled. The whole town is searching for them. Wherever they are now, that place is far from the station. Go and fear nothing. You don't believe my sister's guilty of this crime too? I have no idea what kind of person your sister is and what her talents are, but it isn't likely. Even if your sister is as a creature as yourself, that carried the wrong signature. It was the truth. It carried the wrong signature. It was the work of a true ripper. And if the wounded man dies before I get to him? If not this time, then another time. Heal a man by nightfall for me, in the presence of a witness, or preferably witnesses. This will strengthen our position, and that I will have a legitimate grounds for protecting you against the Kind's wrath. All right, I'll do everything as you say. There was a fight here, by the station. Alexander sends his men here to look after the victims. It is time to lay my hands on the dying man. There was bloodshed at the station this morning, and many people lie wounded or dead. Severov's man is keeping watch. He will tell me what has to be done. Alright, let's go. This game is really good. I just like, while there's just so much to analyze from like a gajillion billion different angles. Because you have like each introduction of each of the characters and how they intertwine, and also like what we have experienced, because it's like Bachelor has a lot of direct interaction with Alexander. And again, I know that this story is an unreliable narrator story, but at the same time, right, like there's always a kernel of truth in there's always truth to various angles of the story. And the thing is that even though it's unreliable, like I do believe deep in their souls they believe it to an extent, right? Like there is a genuine I think the reason they're unreliable is because they believe it so fully. Like, we can't know what actually happened because all points of view are inherently biased, you know? Everyone has something to gain one thing or another from a certain version of the story they're telling, and part of it is perception, regardless of if we're aware of it or not, which is really fun. Right? Like, this is sort of what happens when you tell a story about a story, you know? This is a story about kids playing with their dolls. This is a story of a theater show. This is a story of a theater show. Of really... it is a story of these people who have gained sentience in a world that is inherently hostile to them. It is a video game, right? Like, I think it's all in conversation with itself in really interesting ways. um, which I don't know how I'm gonna feel about Pathologic 2 at all, like at all. Um, People have really positive opinions of it, and I feel like the game itself primes me to be very interested in it. I am curious what they do and like what adaptation choices they make on a remake. Because this game is like... This game is about this sort of thing, you know? Hey, can I talk to you guys? No, no, okay. Sorry, Clara. Alright. Let's try again. Alright. I know that she has the psionic beam. I don't know how close you have to be. Excuse me. Oh man, alright. Good thing I had the entire step behind me. I know we get a tiny gun. I don't know at what point we get a tiny gun. They had rings only. I guess I could sell them at a store. Well, because they're criminals, it's okay. Oh, it's all good. Hi. I'm hangry and I hurt. Why so? Why? Because I first get chased away into the steppe by my soul and a half mates, and then I run into the Ripper there to boot. Boy, was I begging him to let me go. But the bastard knew what I'd been picked on for, and then pulled out his knife, and here I am carved up like so much fillet. It hurts. Help me, will you? Why did they do it to you? Well, I suppose I had done what was a mighty rotten thing to do, and I mucked it up like an idiot, all that. So my former soul and a half mates, they threw me out. They called me a traitor and all that. Hunted-y. But I'm a slick one. I saved myself. Thought I made it out, and what do you know? Here comes Leathersack. Leathersack? Some ripper I'd never seen around here before. And he's like, stop right there, I'ma question you. But you wanted so... But... Are you wanted for such and such crimes? Are you carrying valuables on your person, etc., etc.? And then whack he goes with a razor, but I wriggled myself free, saved myself again, and then wobbled my way to this place. And then... Poor thing. Come now, come to me, let me touch you with my hands. You'll feel better. What do I do? Wait, um, wait a second. Um, I'll deal with those guys later. Um, what was that supposed to happen? I like don't know. I'm gonna. I don't know. How do I? How do I heal? This has never happened before. Could the miraculous power that enters the world through my hands bring death as well? How will I explain this to Alexander? I can't return to him unless I've saved someone. There must be another injured man somewhere. Uh. So, you can kill evildoers with a single touch. Truly a godly gift. I didn't mean to. I wanted to heal him. I felt sorry for him. Then it must have been supreme justice, with you as the judge. Yes, it makes sense. Had he deserved to live, you'd have given him life, right? But the murderer deserved to die, and you dealt him death. Yes, it's much like what the mistress foretold. I see you're well informed. I suppose you're religious, faithful man. Do you read mystical and spiritual books? Don't touch me, please. I'm as full of sin as they come. What if that's enough for your touch to kill me? My master would surely be interested, but you were meaning to heal. You had better find someone else. That's what he sent you here for, right? Who? Where do I find a person like that? Well, how about that one who made the lucky escape from robbers? He survived the massacre and avoided the corpse eaters, so fate must be favoring him. Bring this one back to life, if you wish to, of course. Will you be able to find him yourself? But how? Those people were wondering if he were crawling away eastward into the steppe. He must have been from the steppe itself, a local, so he'd want to be buried in living earth. If he's still breathing and has made it there, then the cemetery caretaker's daughter must have given him shelter. Ah, I know her. According to one of my faithful, a wounded man has been slipped away. He should be somewhere near the town cemetery by now. Okay. So, that was supposed to happen. It's very funny that my impulse was to just like... Oh, whoops. I was too quick about it. Where are they? Come on. Okay, that worked actually a lot better than just running backwards. So, alright, okay, cool. Figuring out how to play Clara. Cool, cool, cool. She has Explosion Beam. So now let's head to the cemetery. Yeah, because that was the... Yeah, because I do recall that one of the dying victims tried to make his way to the cemetery. Perhaps Grace saw him. It's interesting. I'm really, really curious of Artemi, um, how Artemi behaves in this route, right? Because Clara and Artemi are adversarial, in all versions of events. The Bachelor saw it. Haruspex, it was kind of very clear, and then oh, we'll get to see the cows before they be brought inside. Yay! We're still in early days. Oh, can I pick this? Yes, I can pick the twire. Yeah, I won't have the abundance with the twire as I've had before. 'Cause it was kind of the economy to, you know, take people's body parts out. It is interesting. Yeah, now that I have a better understanding of the game too, it makes some of the mechanics here a little easier. I don't know what my relationship with the worms are, so I'm not going to approach them yet. I mean, there's... Yeah, I don't know. I do not know. I'm really curious of how Agalia appears in this route as well. Agalia fan number 1 here. Probably not number 1, but obsessed with her. Ugh. Oh man, we're still only in the intro of this game, of this route. Hey Grace.
The grave diggers have scattered. Where are they?
Tell me, has an injured man come to your lodge lately? How do you know? That's what I've heard from the people who are robbing the dead at the station. Be careful. If they find out you gave him shelter, they'll come for you too. No one would dare touch me, least of all a robber. There's no one villainous enough to pull a knife on me. That's what my father used to tell me, and that's how it's always been. Why do they honor you so much? For feeding them, long after no one else would. For singing songs to their ancestors and comforting those slain by their hands. So where's your wounded man? Yes, an injured merkman did come crawling here. He was all but dead, so I went to find him a good spot. I almost settled on the grave far by the wall, and then I thought of burying him in your pit. The one that you spent the night in, I mean. When I returned, there was a visitor at the lodge. Death? No. Leaning over the wounded worker was the scary man who had inflicted all those wounds on him in the first place. I asked him not to kill the workman, but to heal him with living blood instead. And he, the scary one, said nothing for a long time. There was just the sound of his wheezy breath. Then he took the workman and dragged him off somewhere. To his den, he said. Who was that scary man? He is of warden stock. He knows the lines of the body. He can heal people and is allowed to cut a body. He said his name was Artemi Barak, but I'm afraid he'll kill the wounded man instead of healing him. The workman was, after all, his enemy. He attacked the Barak in the morning and injured him. And where is this Barak's den? I don't know, but I think it must have been nearby. He was in a bad state himself, so he couldn't have walked too far with a limp body on his hands. Hiding in the works, perhaps? Or at a runaway hospice? But now that I think of it, his shoes were covered in gray clay, and you only get that around the works. I'll try to find him. The Ripper carried this dying wounded man off to his lair. His lair. The wounded factory worker was carried off by the Ripper. Oh, we get to meet Artemi right away. It, like, takes so long for Bachelor to meet Artemi. And it is... You, like... yeah, no, like, Bachelor, it takes so long to talk to Artemi. And Clara, I think, even, too. And then... And then in Haruspex, you mean you are Artemi, and you go talk to the Bachelor right away, basically. Like, day one. Which is just so interesting still. And here, we're, like, meeting him right away, which is exciting. And we're allowed to go in here. What's poppin'?
They're trying to catch a Shabnak deer. It's a local fairy tale, as far as I remember.
Aha! Are those crimes that the entire town is now hunting? Are those your crimes that the entire town is now hunting me for? I mean, how blind does one have to be to mix us up? I'm in the same situation. Persecuted for harm done by those people by, apparently, my sister. Fine sister you've got. More of a menace than any caravan. Few people would hope to cause such a commotion. The worst thing is, we're twins.
What was that?
So what is your business here? Grace, the caretaker at the cemetery, said that you've brought a wounded man here. I did. And what of it? I need him. Who sent you? Alexander Sabarov, the ruler. It was him who tasked me with healing the wounded man. I don't think that's a good idea. No one. I've come of my own accord. And what the hell are you doing here? I'm looking for the wounded man. As you see, there is no wounded man here anymore. He vanished while I was away, and that's strange since he couldn't walk on his own. He must have been kidnapped, but whom? What do you mean, vanished? I brought the wounded man here, examined him. He was beyond hope. Then I went to get my tools. When I came back, he was gone. That was 10 minutes ago. The trail of blood led me back to the town. I saw blood on the embankment too, but that doesn't tell us a lot. So, I've lost him. Where could he go? And why didn't you follow him yourself? It's better for me to stay out of the town. Every passerby here rushes to tackle me and tie me up. I wonder what I did to deserve this Ripper fame. I'll look for him on the embankment. He may have found shelter at one of the houses. The wounded man has escaped yet again. With what little time he had, he should have been hiding somewhere nearby. Could he be by the house by the river? Barak said that there were blood stains all over the embankment.
My teeth hurt with all the grinding.
So what's your business here? What a gloomy and damp place. No living being could be here. Live here. Like, he's, like, surprisingly very helpful. Like, I don't... The diamonds leads street to this house. I must hurry there. This is very fun. I'm having a lot of fun with this intro. Right? It's interesting, because it's like, I don't know enough about Clara at this point to know, because she is hiding things, like, where we know this. But the real question is, if, nope, my brain feels like it's leaking out of my skull. Okay, I cannot remember what I was thinking. Excuse me. Everything, like, tracks so far as we know about both The Bachelor and Haruspex, you know? There's some changes in events, but things that could be easily... I don't know, things that could theoretically be relatively easy to explain. Much to think about, honestly speaking. Much to think about. Time to drink some alcohol. What time is it? 9 o'clock. We're good. At this point in the game, you know.
How's my brother? Any news on him?
Am I seeing double? I thought there was only one pair of twins in this town. This looks like a fun place.
Yes.
You're bothering me. I want to be alone. Bothering you? That's odd.
How's my brother?
Okay. Curious. Nothing. Stupid. I'm going to Anna Angel's house, not to the bar. For some reason, I thought it was the bar. Right, yeah, we know from, I think there's a whole, like, thing in Bachelor route where there's a dead man who drags himself to Anna Angel's house. Oh. Well, wow, this is interesting. We're already getting the multiple characters in the same room. This is exciting.
I don't... Why is he interrogating the bound? That big city snake.
What do you want from me? You looking for shelter too? My, you're so pretty. What's your name? Anna. Anna Angel. When I was small, that's what they called me for my beautiful singing voice. And what's your name? Clara. I didn't get any nicknames when I was a child because I couldn't sing at all.
Yeah?
It would seem that I haven't lived in this house long enough for its walls to protect me. First, that wretch bursts in and bleeds on my carpet, then a certain bachelor drops by, and here he is, already acting like he owns the place. Ugh. That's horrible. Do you think he's dangerous? What? No, he's dead already. Although they say that the dead are even more dangerous than the living, especially if they decide to forever haunt those who they've slighted before they died. No, I mean the Bachelor. I dread him for some reason. An inexplicable fear like a premonition. He's not a turnskin, is he? No, he doesn't look cruel. He doesn't look cruel. You think he's the actual monster from the steppe whose coming was announced today? The terrible doll made of human bones? No, I don't think so. The Shabnak always seeks to assume the shape of a woman. Yes, it's those exact bones that I feel in him. He's somehow not real, like an animated straw man. Don't you argue with him, though. He represents the law now. The law is not on our side. What? The law? Yes. You and I are outlaws. The law is a grindstone heavy as a ball. Heavy as a bell, inexorable and persistent. You need a certain amount of power to stand up to it. But where do you get it? And so many of us here don't really have a choice. We're doomed to be victims. Why are you counting me among them? You know, I recognized you at once, I did. Aren't you being persecuted? Aren't you being called a thief? Haven't you had the words Shabnak, turnskin, man-eater thrown in your face? Haven't they been looking for bones under your skin, or dropped swavery juice into your eyes? Psh, quiet, he's listening.
Why is he interrogating the bound? That big city snake.
Are you that scared of him? My goodness, everything points to the Ripper being a heinous murderer. He's unstoppable. He could wrestle down Artemi Stomaton with just one arm. Oh, Artemi Stomaton. So, wow. Congrats on the marriage. He's unstoppable. He could wrestle down Andre Stomaton with just one arm. Forget Andre. The ghastliest thing is that apparently he killed some homeless boy in the steppe today. Yes, this is terrible. Monstrous. There's nothing worse than a crime against a child, especially in this town. Only a stranger could be capable of such a savage crime. Any local would know how the Kynes would react to something like that, especially the younger ones. Anna, dear, it wasn't you who killed him. What are you so afraid of? No matter how brutal this murderer is, he's a threat to everybody equally. Trust me. Yes, of course. But perhaps he didn't kill that boy after all. Then things aren't so terrible. Clara, do me a favor, please. I really need to know if that crime has been actually committed. I mean, to know whether he really is that cruel. Please. Do you want me to ask him personally? There is no need to. There are more discreet ways to do it. I heard he'd made friends in the warehouse dwellers. There are 2 gangs over by the warehouses. Bad Grease smugglers and the adolescent urchins. You can ask them. That homeless boy was a criminal as well. Ask them about the Ripper. They might not know anything about him either. The important thing is to find out whether the whelp was really killed. Go to the gutter snipes right away. Forget about grief. You're a girl after all. Anything can happen. And the boys, they won't hurt you. Do you hear me? On the other hand, never mind. Just do whatever you like. Just do this little trifle for me, will you? I'll reward you. A trifle, you say? I'll get acquainted with those boys, all right. And I'm not scared of the thieves either. Here's a small flock of orphans. They call themselves Souls and a Half. The scary Ripper who calls himself the Haruspex has already met with their leader. Ooh. Those with the freedom of choice. Anna told me told me to ask the stray children at the warehouse about which side the terrifying messenger has taken. That monster clad in leather, licensed to cut all manner of flesh. This blood-covered tramp is not who I'm looking for. He's not complicit in Simon's death. And anyway, he's about to kick it no matter if I help along or not. I'm done here. No, wait. A lot points to Simon having been murdered by a girl. And this dirt on her clothes. I suppose I ought to interrogate you. One wonders if you have an alibi. Why interrogate me? Well, because I'm inclined to believe it was you who killed Simon. You're mad. Why? Superstitious people claim that Simon was killed by a demon, a creature they call the Stab Nakadir, which has been an outward appearance, if I recall correctly, a girl covered in Earth's dirt. Now, I despise superstition, but a kind, a tall tale is often the truth that lends itself to rational explanation. I'm not a demon. Quite the opposite. I can prove it. Really? Prove it. How? Look, I can work miracles with my own hands. Curious. And how do you suppose upon doing that? I lay my hands on someone in pain, and they are brought back to life. So not only are half the people here psychics, turns out the other half are faith healers. What kind of town is this? What kind of a time? I've been transported to the Middle Ages. I presume you can demonstrate your art here right in front of me? I can. Watch. How did you manage that? I've had this gift for as long as I can remember. Unbelievable. Many continue to disbelieve even after seeing it with their own eyes. Are you some kind of saint? I'm a miracle worker.
What do you all want from us?
So you can heal with your hands? For real? Yes. And you could cure any disease? Yes. I will be your friend, girl. What else can you do? A lot of unusual things. People believe that I'm a miracle worker. Huh. Well, you've done that. I can return to Alexander now. The miracle was a success. Well, let's finish off the main quest. Alright. Our reputation has gone up too, so it's not as worrying. We have some bangles. Let's see if the girls can give us anything. I feel a little less worried. Hi there. Do you know how to play Reflections? You don't seem like an ordinary girl. I wonder what you'd look out coming out from the other side. Did you catch the unseen cat? I invited the Bachelor to have a look at the unseen cat, but I know he won't come. He doesn't seem to understand us at all. Is it true that he's very smart? Intelligence is relative. Often the voice of reason tangles the ways of fate, whereas the heart will always lead you right down the right path. Well, I can't really use ammo, really, so... Let's talk to the people now that my reputation's higher. My children, oh my poor little darlings. You make my heart bleed. What will become of you? Ah, girl, you'll know what caring for your children is like when you grow up. Why are you in so much pain? We are mere orphans without Simon. We have neither a true mistress nor a ruler in this town. After all, Katerina is not Victoria. There are other forces that can save the town. Can I be of assistance? Okay. I'm fine for now. We'll talk to people as we come across them. Alright. Much to think about. As I've always said that the shit tends to happen in the fall. A sordid time, and dirty too, all muddy. As for me, I like fall. The air is so transparent and everything is chiming and singing and glass-like. I don't have a gun, so I have lockpicks.
What?
Indeed. You do look more like a messenger from above than the spawn of the earth. I have fulfilled your request. I healed a man in the mansion to the south of yours. A menacing-looking scientist in a snakeskin coat oversaw it. He calls himself the Bachelor. And that is excellent. A first-hand account from the visiting Bachelor will carry more weight with the kinds than anything else. You'll probably side with them, seeing as the dearly departed Simon meant so much to them. So now you have trust in me? I trusted you even before that. Do not be offended by these tasks. What I do not do on my own behalf, but on behalf of the people I am entrusted to my care. I will most likely give you one more task. Just allow me to pause and compose my mind first. I'm considering what would be the best approach to the matter. Tell me when you're clear.
Your coming is a sign. You are a link in a whole chain of mysterious coincidences.
Here's a new task for you. It is said that someone resembling you has murdered our town's father, Simon Kine. But now I am sure that the Kynes are not telling the whole truth, and that the moral murderer's story is invented to conceal something grim that they know about, or suspect. But you are a ruler. Why do you speak of the Kynes as though they were more powerful than you? The Kynes are the family by which everything began here. Their radiant blood has preserved the memory of the ancient magic since the time of the epics. They are the descendants of heroes who had fashioned the world out of their own flesh, who had created talking beasts and wretched chains of fire from sea to sea, and built sky-high towers in a single night. Such arts are pertinent to demons, not humans, or rather to half-human sorcerers who are part beast or part malicious element. I never said that they were like that. I said that they had descended from such beings. It was a figure of speech. The Kynes are very much human as the Sabarovs, and yet there is still within them a spark of the flame that burned in the deities and heroes born into a mythical era. Why have you brought them up? The town is now governed by the Sabarov-Oglemitsky Kyne Triumphant. I fear that if driven to their desire to avenge Simon, the Kynes could try to shift the balance of power. Their tyranny would be usher in an era of madness. I don't want that to happen, but I need to be sure before I can confront the Kynes. And that is where you can help me. How? You will go to the Crucible. It is in the upper part of town, called the Stone Yard. Go to Gregory, charm him with your hypnotic powers, and find out what is behind Simon's death. It is a dangerous mission, but an important one. If you succeed, I will reward you generously, Clara. All right, I'll give it a try. You do, however, need more than just to look into a person's eyes and make them speak the truth, and you need their consent. That's right. I ask directly if they consent, and their mind approaches mine only if they say yes. Also, I must know the person's real name and a secret fact from their life. What for? That is how I unlock a soul. Well then, go to Katerina. She will tell you about Gregory. You are not indeed as simple as you seem. It is strange that you have revealed your secret to me. Have you not been tempted to use your skill on me? Why would I? You're helping me, so I have nothing to hide from you. The hooks. Truth revealing itself. Katerina wants to test my powers as well, but how can she? Perhaps this is the most important thing.
They say he...
Okay. Very interesting. I am who I am, the Harbinger. What has happened is proof of that. Who is going to challenge me that I was sent here to perform deeds in righteousness? No one. This town is all set my journey, not the destination. Yippee! Alright. Alright. So, we have finished the main quest. So I am thinking that next time we'll do the side quests. I don't know how long they're going to be, but I am very interested in sitting down and thinking about them. I think this intro is very, very, very strong. I love how we've already met Artemi and Dankovsky. We've met the two of them already. We've already seen like direct events that happened in both of their routes occur. I'm so excited. This is very fun because you kind of It is really interesting how in Artemi's route, in the Haruspex route, you have the choice to do these things, but both the Bachelor and Changeling route have it so that doesn't happen. Like, this is what happens. But in Bachelor, the man is dead. And in Changeling, she brings him back to life. And I mean, it would make sense if that is a thing that can occur, which this is a story, so yes, it can. That it wouldn't be talked about. But it's really interesting because it's like, in 2 out of the 3 versions of events, this man lives. In one of them, he does not. Which is just really interesting. It's very, very interesting. You know, like, in Bachelor Route, it is a side quest that shows up in, but you are encouraged to visit Anna and do that. And then you have, in Haruspex, it's a part of the main quest, and in this one, it's also part of the main quest. Very excited to do these side quests and interact with Notkin and with the kinds. We're like immediately like going in and putting our hands on everything we can, which I think is the way you I think you have to do it, right? Because while Haruspex came from here and has more of an inn, it's a different kind of inn. I think the real thing is like the naming of all the twins. Gregory and Simon, Andre and Peter, a Bachelor and Haruspex, because they're 2 sides of the same coin, right? Like, it is so interesting. I'm so excited. I am so excited, especially if we have this truth thing. I'm really curious of how it goes. Very excited to continue playing this game. But with that, I'm going to leave that here. I will see you guys next time, and we'll continue going. All right, have a great one, guys. Bye.